Hi everyone, once again I am with a new video of the first chapter, and this time we will start a new topic. You studied the nutrition, respiration, transportation. Now this next topic, and it will be the last round, is excretion. Excretion. Dear students, this is very important topic, point of view of the examination. So you have to listen it carefully and try to understand. And again I am repeating that if you feel any problem, feel free to ask. And if you are able to understand, then do your duty to subscribe, like, share as much as you can. Okay? All living cells, all living organisms work all the time in order to sustain the life of organism. It is the nature that all organisms are made up of cells. So all living cells in the body of organisms work all the time in order to sustain the life of organisms. And these works are in the form of many biochemical reactions. Some biochemical reactions you can take here, like the synthesis of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, pigments, hormones, oxidative, breakdown of glucose and many other catabolic and anabolic reactions. These are the biochemical reactions. Catabolic reactions, you know, this is the destructive reaction, and anabolic reaction, you know, it is constructive reaction. So these are some examples of the biochemical reactions which all the cells will do all the time in order to sustain the life of an organism. Dear students, these biochemical reactions produce some metabolites, some byproducts. Okay? And those byproducts are maybe solid, liquid or gas, anything. All these biochemical reactions, whatever they produce, are not useful always. Some of them are useful and some of them are not useful. Okay? So, biochemical reactions produce metabolites. This is first point. Metabolites which may be harmful. if allowed to accumulate in the body. In the body cells. Okay. Besides this, these reactions may increase or decrease the water and salt balance in the body. Okay. These biochemical reactions produce certain metabolites. Metabolites you have to understand here. Like, if again we take the example of, just take the example of glucose, and it break down into water and carbon dioxide or plus energy. This water produced in vapor form, this carbon dioxide will be harmful if remain accumulate and concentration will increase in the body. So it is necessary to overcome from this problem. It is necessary to remove the excess water from the body. And these two are the metabolites because the product is here and it will be consumed to maintain the body temperature as well as to provide the energy for different reactions. Okay. So, metabolism of glucose means oxidative breakdown of glucose produce water and carbon dioxide, and these are the metabolites of the reaction, oxidative breakdown. And if they will accumulate in the body, they will disturb the homeostatic condition, steady rate of the body. Okay. Then our body has the mechanism. Not only our body, the body of all livings has the mechanism. What type of mechanism? Those are body of livings perform two processes. How many processes? Two processes. For what? To overcome from the problem and maintain the steady condition of the body. Steady condition of the body. Steady condition of the body. And these are what these processes are. One is excretion and another is osmoregulation. Today we will study about these two topics, excretion and osmoregulation. Okay, let's come. I think you understand all the living organisms are made up of living cells, and all the living cells perform their work all the time in the form of biochemical reactions. Those biochemical reactions produce certain metabolites that may be harmful if remain accumulated in the body, and result of biochemical reactions will either increase or decrease the water and salt balance in the body, and that will disturb the homeostatic state. to maintain the homeostatic state of the body, to maintain the steady rate of the body. Our body and the body of all living organisms has two special processes, and those processes are excretion and osmoregulation. Excretion, it is the process by which living organisms get rid of metabolic wastes produced in the body and can be harmful if accumulate in the body. Dear students, you have to pay attention on the definition. It is the process by which living organisms get rid of metabolic waste produced in the body. And who produces the metabolic waste in the body? The organism itself. The metabolic produced in the body by the activities of the cells, and activities of the cells produce these metabolic waste, and it can be harmful if accumulate in the body. It means the outcome is that the waste products which are produced in the metabolism are produced by the organisms itself. Okay? Why I am saying this? Because one more process is in the body of organisms to get rid of the waste, and it is the ignition. Dear students, this process is completely different. So do not confuse here. This process is completely different from excretion. Can you guess why? Because the metabolic waste produced by the organisms itself, while ignition is a process of removal of waste products of digestion, and those products are not produced in the body of organisms. Those products are taken as raw material in the digestive system, in the guts, and the leftover part of the food, indigestible part of the food, is removed by the process of ignition. That is not synthesized in the body of organism, while these wastes are produced by the biochemical reactions in the organism's body themselves. Okay? Besides this, excretion is a complete process, while ignition is one of the steps of a process. That process is the nutrition. Ignition is one of the steps in the nutrition, while excretion is a complete process. So the ignition is different from the excretion. Whenever you have any question, what is the difference between excretion and ignition? Now I think you are able to distinguish between them, because excretion is a complete process in which the waste products which are removed from the body are produced by the organisms themselves, while ignition is the process in which the waste materials are taken by the organisms in the gut in the form of raw material, and those products are indigestible or leftover part of the food. Okay? Organs are also different. Now, students, on the basis of requirement of water, organisms are divided into three categories. And actually that is not only the basis of requirement of water to get rid of the excretory product, but also it is depend on the grade of toxicity. Okay, so you can see here one of the organism is kept in the category of ammonotelic organisms. These organisms produce the waste product mainly in the form of ammonia. Okay, ammonia is the major constituent of the excretory product of these type of organisms, and it is highly toxic, and it needs huge amount of water, to get rid of. Huge amount of water. Okay, ammonia is the major waste product in ammonotelic organisms, and the process of removal is called ammonotelism. Can you give some example? You see here example. As I said, these organisms require huge amount of water. Which type of organism will have the huge amount of water? Like the fishes, tadpoles of frog. They live in water, so there is no scarcity of water for the removal of waste. So such type of organisms, aquatic organisms mostly, which live in water, they will excrete by this mechanism, ammonotelism, and such type of organisms are called ammonotelic organisms. Now, the second category of the organism on the basis of the toxicity and requirement of water, these type of organisms are called ureotelic organism. The main excretory product, as the name itself, is the urea, and they require moderate amount of water. Moderate amount of water to excrete the waste. Okay, moderate amount of water. Ureotelic organisms are those organisms who are having urea as a major excretory product in their body, and for removal, to get rid of urea from their body, they require moderate amount of water. Moderate amount of water means less than the ammonotelic organism. Okay, you can take the example like us, humans, means terrestrial organisms produce such type of waste, and they come in the category of ureotelic organisms. The third category of the organisms are uricotelic. Keep in mind, before this it was ureotelic, now it is uricotelic. The major excretory product is uric acid. Major excretory product is uric acid, and they require least amount of of water, and this uric acid is least toxic also. They require less amount of water, so they excrete their waste in the form of semi-solid or paste. Can you guess the example? Example are birds, lizards. These organisms excrete their products in the form of uric acid, that is the whitest part. Okay, and they require very least amount of water because it is least toxic, and it is in the form of semi-solid or paste. I think all of you had seen the excretory product of these organisms. Okay. On the basis of, as you studied just before some time, different categories of organisms on the basis of the toxicity of excretory products and the amount of water required to get rid of the waste. Okay. Now, the second topic is osmoregulation. Osmoregulation is the process of maintaining the salt and ion balance as well as water balance in the body. This is the process by which organisms maintain water and salt balance in their body. This process maintains the osmotic condition. Osmotic condition by regulating the water and ions in body fluid. Okay. Why this is necessary? As I written, to maintain the osmotic condition, osmotic state of the body and the ionic balance in the body fluid. Now two terms are here. Ionic balance, which type of ions are required by the body, and body fluids. What are body fluids? You can take the example here. Body fluids. Fluids like blood plasma, lymph, cell contents. These are some examples of body fluids. Ions mainly include sodium, potassium and chloride. These ions are mainly required to balance. Why this is necessary? It is important for permeability of membrane, various synthetic processes synthesis processes, muscles contraction, etc. These all processes require ionic and water balance in the body. Now, let's study about the excretion in animals. How the animals excrete their waste. Okay. Now this topic is excretion in animals. Okay. Dear students, all organisms have definite structure in their body for excretion. Single cell organisms like protozoans, those who are having only one cell in their body, means only one cell perform entire function of the body, they excrete their waste in the surrounding, means in the water, by the simple diffusion through the cell membrane. But higher organisms have some tubular structure in their body for the excretion. Like if you take the example of earthworm, they have the tubular structure constitute nephridia for excretion. Insects, like organisms, they will have special type of structures, tubular structures, that is called the Malpighian tubules for the excretion. Mollusks and vertebrates like us have kidney as the organ of excretion and osmoregulation. Okay. Dear students, in today's video, I think this is enough because board is also not in proper light. So I will prepare next video, excretion in humans and excretion in plants. Till then, stay home, remain safe, have a nice day, and if you have any problem, please feel free to ask, and please comment, do you like this video? Are you able to understand the topics through these videos? And if yes, then please subscribe, like, share to others so that they can also take benefit from the video. Thank you very much.